So you may have seen in the last video that we oiled the Welsh. And up next to oil is my Sessions WC94. Now, I do not know if this has been... Okay. Now I do not know if this has been oiled or not because the friend who owned this before me, I really don't know if he did oil it or not. So just in case, we're gonna go ahead and oil this thing. So let's go ahead, bring this down out. Let's go ahead and bring this down out into the shop, and let's get it on the workbench and get it all oiled. Yeah, that too. And here's the Sessions on the workbench. So, first order of business, take the hands off, which is relatively easy. Minute hand just went crazy. Alright, put that there. Put that right there. And then we get our hour hand. Okay. now that we have those off, now we can go ahead and back. Take out the movement by unscrewing the screws that hold it in, and then there we go. We can go from there. Okay, here's the movement. I already took out the pendulum beforehand, so we're all good there. As you can see, the movement's held in via those two screws up there and two screws down here. You can focus. There we go. But yeah, this movement's pretty old. Do not know when it was last serviced, but we're just gonna go ahead and give it an oiling, just to make it run better for at least another couple years or so, possibly even more if that is. But yeah, anyways, let's get this movement out. And screws are out, so now we can just eat. Just like that, we got our movement. Alright, set this. Let me grab it a little bit better. Alright, here's our movement. There's the front of it. Okay, let's set this no, what am I talking about? Let's set this case to the side and we can go from there. Okay, we have our movement. We can get a better look at it now. There's so I can show you. There's the sides of it. And the top of it. This whole movement is in pretty much good condition. It just needs to be oiled. Let me try to move you guys up a little bit more. There. See if that works. See if I can just try to show you this side over here. This thing's pretty heavy. Okay, here we go. Here's the side of it. Then might as well show y'all the front. Where am I grabbing it on? Oh, there we go. Here's the front of the movement. But yeah. Oh yeah, if anyone's new here, yes, those are Hermley hammers. on this movement, because the original hammers, the leathers on them were like fully worn out. But I left one original hammer on the strike side because I wanted that, for some reason, tinniness. Don't know why, but just did. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, see if there's any dried up lubricant or any dried up grease in these pivots, and then I'll get back to you guys once I'm done with that. Okay, I think I found one right here. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that right there. There's lunch for ya. So you can get more off of it. Let me try this. Look at that. Look at that. That's all from that one pivot. So that just tells you that this thing hasn't been serviced in a while. Alright, I'm gonna do the rest of this picking off camera. Then I'll get back to you guys once I'm done with that. Okay, I just finished picking out whatever was not wanted in those pivot holes. And just like how I oiled the mantle, there was nothing. Well, except for that one that we just did. But the rest of the pivot holes were perfectly fine. So these pivots are good to go to be oiled from front to back. However, these pivots will need to be rebushed, because look at this. That has some wear to it, and I do not have the proper tools to do bushings, and I really don't want to take apart this movement because I've heard these are a pain in the ass to work on. So I'm just gonna leave it as is and just do the bare minimum and just oil it. It works. It works the same. It makes the clock run better. So at least I'm doing something. So yeah. Anyways, now we're gonna oil the movement. Get you some oil. For this one, we're gonna do 2 drops because it's a bigger oil pivot. Where's my? There it is. I missed that. My fault. Okay, that one's good. The other one I can't really get access to because it's like up in there, and I really don't feel like, disassembling this whole thing, as this looks like it would be a pain in the ass to readjust. So I'm just gonna leave that as is. All right, let's go ahead and do this one right here. Like I said before, you're gonna want to get your oil and just go right in there. Just go right in there with a little tiny drop of oil. A little tiny drop of oil will do the job. You don't want too much or too little, because too much will overfill the pivot. Too little, it's not gonna really do anything for the clock. So you want to get just the right amount of oil like this and put it right in there. And that one's oiled. Same with this one. Okay, I'm gonna do all this oiling off camera, then I'll catch up with you guys when I'm done with that. Okay, after about like, what is it, 10 minutes I think, this thing has been oiled from front to back, even though it has worn bushings probably all over the movement, but I can't do nothing about it at the moment. But anyways, the movement has been oiled from front. No, I mean back. There we go. From to front. So, yeah. Now all that's left to do is just put this back in the case and test it there, and we should be good to go. Okay, I got the movement back in the case. Actually, I already went ahead and put the hands back on anyways. It's literally just the same process as you would take them off, just the opposite way when putting them back in. Yeah, anyways. Movement's back in. It's running fine with some new oil, and I'll show you what it sounds like too as well. You zoom in on those hammers there. Trying to get it to focus. It's kind of hard. Alright, let's see there. Alright, there we go. Now for the hour. And there you have it. Also, this hammer system is pretty simple. It's pretty much just the chime barrel just pretty much moves these levers, which via lift these hammer stems. That's where the hammers are connected to. So if you do this, I mean, try one of them. No, not that. Let me try this. Let me try doing a strike side. Yeah, there we go. So if I push up on that, that pushes against the actual chime hammer itself. Therefore, it lifts up this strike hammer. So it's pretty simple on how that works. It's pretty cool though. Nice engineering there that Sessions did for these Sessions 2 trains movements. But they are a pain in the ass to work on from what I've heard on. So the least I did was just oil it. It's still something that I did to this clock, even though it does need a full service and some bushings to be rebushed. But I just went ahead and oiled it because that's the least I can do, like I just said. So yeah. And now I'll show you it from the front, then I'll go put it back in its normal spot, then that should conclude the video. And here's the front. I'll just go ahead and chime it for you. It's gonna do 1 o'clock. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Yeah, this casing has very nice designs on it. I really like the trimming right there. And also, that I don't know what you would call that. Maybe like a flower design or something. Well, obviously it's not a flower, but to me it looks kind of like it. But I'm not sure what kind of shape that would be or what it is. But it's pretty cool though. I like it. It's got the trimming on the sides there too as well. Yeah, this case does need some work, especially on the bottom, because it is cracking a little, but not to the point where it's gonna snap, but it is cracking, so this whole case needs some work. But it is what it is. You know how some of these American clocks are. But yeah. There's your Sessions logo. There's your regulating knob there. Fast and slow. Then down here is your silent and chime option, which I never really mess with because I don't have a key for both of these that fit. Well, a double-ended key. But you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't have a key. I don't have a key that fits this clock, so I just use my 31-day key for now. But it works. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna put this thing back in its spot, and that will conclude the video. And there it is, back in its original spot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of me oiling my Sessions WC94 2-train Westminster chime mantle clock. And make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And up next on the workbench after this video will be this thing. So anyways, bye.